There's a place called the Virgin Islands. Check them out if you haven't yet. I imagine these islands in such a scenario being utilized with thousands of young virgin women offered up on sacrificial altars, bathed properly and prepared for their glorious demise. Religious folk surrounding the islands, ready to witness the mighty King Kong snatch up these females and potentially devour them. Nonetheless, a sacrifice to him, their god. He wouldn't be as dangerous as, say, Godzilla or other monstrous, powerful kaiju. However, the factor of his size would be a danger. The reality that he could keep on growing. I imagine him being the size he is in the recent Skull Island film, and still growing from there. How would the world react? People, as they are in most situations similar to this, would be very much so divided on how to handle this monstrous creature. Some would hope to preserve him, to have a place in the world restricted from other humans to enter, to where Kong could dwell in peace. Others would think he should be killed. There will be conflict between the nations as to how to handle this monster. And as I mentioned in the beginning, religions would be built around him. People would search their holy scriptures, assuming he could very well be part of what was revealed to them millennia before. Others would think he's an accident, a freak of nature, caused by the humans themselves, a radioactive conjurement of man-made hell. I imagine people wanting to preserve him in a contained area to make profits, a zoo, if you will, with Kong being the center of it. People would travel all across the world to come and see him. Animal rights activists would frequently gather in front of this zoo and protest such a display. Selfies of people with Kong in the background would be in abundance all over the interwebs. And from a scientific standpoint, the boundaries of nature itself would be brought into question, and reality as we know it would be altered severely if such a creature existed. I presume that eventually he would be killed off by someone or by something, but I would also question his ability of regeneration. Perhaps he would have a way of reviving himself in a subconscious sort of manner. As we know, there are great mysteries as to how and why he came to exist in the first place. I imagine his growth continuing to where he would get larger than the 2014 Godzilla himself. Perhaps to the point where no man-made structure would be able to contain him. An enclosure would be created around the Grand Canyon in attempt to preserve him there. And in his elongated span of life, he would be very intelligent, and I fear he would be something that would pose then a threat to all of humanity, as he would realize that in some sense he is a slave to humanity until he is free. It's a rather startling thing to consider, the existence of King Kong, but I imagine the world would be very much so a different place. What do you guys think? How would you see the world continuing on with such a monster living in their midst? Let me know in the comments below. And like this damn video if you haven't yet, for I am the Iceman. More videos to come.